Welcome to The Snack, a lighter serving of Girls Gotta Eat.
This is a Dear Media production.
Enjoy.
Hi, guys.
Hi. You know what? We just want to start this. We do have kind of a sad announcement
What's happening?
that today will be the last episode of The Snack.
It's not April Fool's anymore. Days after April.
We're recording on April Fool's.
You've been trying to get me all morning. Other people have been trying to get me. The internet's been trying to get me. I saw that Erewhon was opening up in New York City. I almost went back.
So it's confirmed. What? But why wouldn't it? That's believable news.
You can't drop news on April 1st. You just can't.
It's so true.
People just they know you're messing.
And we've talked about this over the years, but I grew up like April Fools. Like my mom would always get me when I would come downstairs. She'd be like, "Oh my God, your hair's green!" Like little dumb stuff when I was a kid, and then I really got into it, especially in college.
Okay.
Like, I said this before. I convinced my whole family that I had left college early and was going out to see this guy in Key West. My mom was calling all of our family members.
What?
She was, I've told the story.
No.
I met this guy in spring break, and then I was like, let's convince my mom that I've like left school before finals and I'm going down to be with Jay in Key West. And she was calling my aunt in Miami. Like my mom was like going crazy. So, cause I just decided like not to answer my phone and have her get a little skeptical. And she called our apartment landline. We had a landline in college. Guys, that's how old I am. And I forget which roommate, I think it might've been Stephanie or Kat, like picked up the phone and was then like kind of covered the receiver and was like, guys, it's Ashley's mom. What should I tell her? Like really played it up.
This is crazy. You went wide.
I swear I've told you. Someone in the comments is gonna be like, Raina, we know this story.
Listen, we always be talking. we talk a lot.
Well, let's talk about our partners.
You guys, we've made it. This is a slow clap. Thank you to Revolve. This is not April Fool's.
Can you imagine? They've taken to Revolve. I bet April Fools. No,
they don't really do podcast advertising, but we've given them so much of our money that they were like, it's time to give it back. And we are going to give you guys a treat. You guys, they don't ever do this. Get 15% off your first order at revolve.com/GGE with the code GGE. Shop the shit out of this, you guys, because we don't ever want to lose this partner. I'll lose every partner before this. I'm just kidding. We love all of our partners.
Okay.
And thank you to Cornbread Hemp.
Yes, we love all of our partners.
Get 30% off your first order at cornbreadhemp.com/GGE with code GGE.
And thank you to booking.com. Yes, I will be singing again today. Win $1,000 of booking.com travel credit by entering their sweepstakes on Instagram at booking.com is their handle. And Addyi, learn more at addy.com. Okay.
A lot to talk about today.
Let's just kick it off with a breakup report. We love a breakup report.
Totally.
Of course, our condolences to anyone affected. But we
love to see you all failing in your relationships.
When we're working on our breakup report and we figure out that third one, because I like to have 3 things in a report.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do 2.
Otherwise, it's just we be talking.
It's just 2 things.
Yeah.
Here's 2 things. So we do have a trifecta today. You want to kick it off?
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney calls off her wedding and then couple days later, then confirmed that they had broken up because this was new news again today.
So she kind of soft launched the breakup with the wedding postponement.
Yes.
Okay. That okay. And then was like, haha, we're broken. Like, why not just? Do you think she just wanted to slow roll it out?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be like less postponing your wedding. I guess it's interesting to me, but it's not as big of news as like a breakup. But in between those 2 things breaking, she was spotted in Dallas with Glen Powell. So maybe she was just like, I can't make it seem like I went to a wedding for Glen Powell, which we will get to. And also, I still might be with my fiance.
But she wasn't romantically hanging out with Glen Powell, right? Or
no, so basically it was his sister's wedding.
Okay.
She went down there. Allegedly, she had RSVP'd months in advance to the wedding. It's in Texas. She went with her best friend. And that they were like spotted together in Texas. And it's like, yeah, they're at his sister's wedding. Like, not
did he have a date to the wedding?
Unsubstantiated, not sure.
So, like, do you think she was like, weddings make people feel some type of way? You don't want to go to a wedding with someone you don't want to be with.
Totally.
Because it makes you feel a lot of things.
Absolutely.
You think she was like, I can't be at that wedding with Glen there with this man I don't want to be with. Like, do you think, I wonder if the wedding kind of was the catalyst?
I mean, it seems like it was the catalyst because she then followed up with like another story. I gotta tell you, I'll be totally honest. I find these 2 celebrities, and I love them, and I wish them luck. No one interests me less. I just don't care about them. They're not spicy or interesting in any way. I mean, I love that she's like my huge boobie girl. Like, you know, like we used to have a sisterhood back when my boobs were that big.
Yeah.
They're not interesting celebs to me. I'm just like people. I mean, this is the biggest news ever. I don't care about them that much.
I think they're just like traditionally hot.
Two hot people.
In more ways than one. They're super hot right now in the scene in Hollywood. Like, I guess that's just it. They're just like the two young hot stars that people are shipping. But yeah, I'm not especially interested.
Yeah.
But men across the world are rejoicing. And I just love some of these comment sections. Like our friend Rob sent me one. He also said she was from Spokane, which I didn't know. Is she a Washington girly? And the comment section of this one post is just so funny because it's like, this happened after I texted her sup. And she's actually with me. Huge news for me. Just a bunch of guys. Rumor has it she's still in love with me. And then someone, don't worry, guys. I heard Sydney Sweeney is going to start dating someone who comments on this post. You know, like the guys in the comments are just so horny for the breakup. But, you know, we wish them well, her and Glen.
Yeah, they're not that spicy, but I wish them well. And, you know, I hope they're happy.
Tessa, you ship Glen and, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's like life imitates art with anyone but you. They go to the wedding. Like, it's like, I think that's the big thing is like, it's
the movie
plot of
life.
the movie. And then like everyone was like, it was a PR relationship.
The worst movie I've ever seen.
A year and a half ago
it.
whenever it came out. So I think that's why there's like more of the hype around it too.
Okay. Which is a fun thing to ship, I think.
Okay.
Who knew who her ex even was? I didn't.
Nobody knows
to
who that
him.
guy is.
I'm sure his market value's gone up though. Sydney Sweeney's ex, he's getting some pussy.
I will tell you, I would hate to follow that.
No.
Like, you know, I can't stop thinking about what we were going to talk about it later, but I'll bring it up now. So Craig and Paige. Craig Conover of Southern Charm, if you guys live under the rock, him and Paige DeSorbo broke up. And he announced on Watch What Happens Live that he is dating somebody exclusively now.
Okay.
And her name is Natalie Buffett. And I got to tell I wish them the best. I would hate to follow Paige DeSorbo.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this girl. And again, I wish her and Craig well, but I couldn't follow. How could I ever live up to how she dresses, how cool she is?
Yeah, and she's funny, all the things.
So successful, so cool. I would hate to try to live up to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next we have Love is Blind. Mark from Love is Blind, Mark Cuevas, who was season 1.
Season 1 with
Jessica. We have been Team Jessica since the jump. We are on the right side of history.
This is the most we've ever been on the right side of history. Everybody hated on her, and we were like, we see through this.
Yeah, and she's thriving. She's married. Now she has this hot, doctor husband?
Yep.
Anyway, I didn't even say the news, but Raina, do you want to deliver the news?
So basically, Mark Anthony Cuevas.
Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony. That's his name.
What? Like J-Lo's
Mark Anthony.
ex?
It's Mark with a K.
Okay, right.
It looks weird with a K. But anyways, Mark Anthony, afterwards, he did get married to a girl and they had 2 kids. And then he posts this week on Instagram, black square, white writing. Mm-hmm. Hey, everyone. After a lot of thought and conversations. Dear Father God. Aubrey and I have decided to part ways a few weeks ago. This wasn't an easy decision. We both believe this is the best path forward for our individual growth and our family. Our top priority is our boys. He goes on and on. He uses we statements a lot. We are going to begin the next chapter. We kindly ask for your understanding. We truly appreciate your support. So we. It is filled with we's. She comments on it right at the top. This is news to me. LOL.
What? Yeah.
This might be the quickest comment section I have ever run to in my life.
Yeah.
She just didn't know.
Come on.
Like, what? I wonder if she meant, like, posting this.
Okay, this statement is news to me.
Also, I gotta tell you
So has she come out at all?
No, I mean, she just said this is news to me. The comment section's hysterical.
We should have ranked the worst Short Kings last week in honor of Short King Spring because he would be on that list. He's a little shit.
Is he from Love is Blind?
Yes.
I could do just Love is Blind.
Short King. No, like Izzy and Mark battling it out for worst Short King of Love is Blind. And Mark's like, at least I have plates. Can you see them in a roast battle?
Can I tell you what's so funny about this? I clocked it right away because I make a lot of our Instagram stories, and he posted it, and like centered it, but it's off center.
Yeah.
And I would be like, this guy can't do anything right. He's so stupid.
Totally.
He can't even center a caption.
It. Yeah. What does he care?
That is so crazy to post something like that. And also the way he posted, I like the people in the comments being like, you're not that famous. You didn't have to make a statement like this.
Yes. Like people wouldn't even know who that was. If you said Mark Anthony Cuevas, people would be like, literally who?
Not one person would be like, I know who that is.
Exactly.
Like maybe his mom.
Yeah. The only way you would know him is if you tagged his name onto Jessica.
Yes,
Jessica's
absolutely.
still a queen. Our season 1 queen.
So a lot of people were like, you didn't need to post this like a PR statement.
Yeah,
which I
nobody
think is the
cares.
funniest
That's
thing.
so true.
No one cares.
Send this to your friends and family.
Send it to your wife.
Yeah. Okay. And then we just have one more. And this is Becca Moore and Shannon Beveridge. We're not going to say too much. She's been on the show and we loved Becca. This was probably 6 months to a year ago. And she shared her whole story of getting together with Shannon. And it's been kind of drama filled, this breakup. And some people have come out and been like, she was never gay, you know, because she didn't date women before Shannon, and
It was her first relationship.
It was her first relationship with a woman, but now there's this storyline.
Well, Tessa said, like, do you want to talk about this breakup? And I was like, I've been knowing about this breakup for months.
Okay, yeah.
So she released a statement.
She just released her podcast about it with
Yes.
the whole story. Yeah.
And the two of them were really cute. They used to like podcast together.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stories together. And she's just very open and honest about her life. Whatever's going on, she's going to put the story out. And she put out a story, I want to say like a couple months ago, saying that basically Shannon wanted to have like biological children together and that she didn't want to do that with a woman. And people really attacked her on the internet. People made a lot of videos about it. People certainly had feelings, and I don't blame them.
So then basically now she has come out and said that she basically just offered up that excuse as a reason for their breakup because she was scared that the internet would make up narratives about their relationship, and then Shannon's team agreed. So they kind of decided that would be the reason for the breakup. And she says after the breakup video was posted, they continued dating for about a month, and then Shannon ultimately ghosted her. I mean, we just wanted to throw it into the mix because she's a former guest. And if you guys don't know, Becca Moore is an influencer. She's really great. I love her content, and we loved our conversation with her. And again, like Raina said, super open about her life. But this is just one of those things where, I mean, it's not Blake and Justin, but it's like you hear one side, you're on one side, you hear the other side, you don't know really what's going on.
Well, it was interesting because I was reading the comments on her post, and a lot of the people that made like reaction videos to the first breakup apologized to her, and they were like, I didn't know this would bother you, or I didn't know this would sit with you so much. It's like, well, you made a reaction video about me.
Yeah.
So interesting to walk it back now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, it's all really interesting. And I want to always like tread lightly on the whole, like, she was never gay thing. Like, I mean, a lot of people are bi, they're fluid. I don't think you're like, I'm straight, but I'm going to date this woman for what reason? Like, I don't know. Like, why does it have to be some sort of insidious reason? Like, I don't understand that attack, I guess. And I'm not saying that's coming from the whole of the LGBT community, but there is that discourse. And it's like, but she was in love with Shannon and, you know, was in a relationship with her, was intimate with her, then that makes her bi. I don't know. It's just, that's an interesting critique.
Well, I think
what are you trying to say? What's the motive there? I guess
the initial breakup conversation was her saying essentially she didn't want kids with a woman, and she had never really processed this. That's why people came out.
That's why people came out. Okay,
yes.
I see. Which now she's kind of like, that was just a story we made up. I mean, that's why I wouldn't have done that either.
I know.
Why couldn't it have just been people break up?
I think when you're young and you have a microphone.
But why? But like, I guess I'm just asking, maybe I'm missing something. Why can't it just be that like relationships run their course? And
I don't know. And
you know
it was
what I mean?
A little convoluted. And
Yeah.
it does sound like in the end, Shannon's behavior was like a little, from Becca, a little toxic, or she didn't like how it was going and she didn't want to like embarrass her. So she embarrassed herself.
I don't know. I also just, people are allowed to break up and not offer all the ins and outs of the thing. It's just like, it comes down to
I do it all the time.
Paige and Craig too. You know, Paige is like, let's keep it top level. Relationships don't work out. And now slowly Craig's starting to be like this and that. And then you're seeing more play out on Summer House of her issues with him, whatever. I'm saying you're allowed to keep it vague. You're allowed to be like, this didn't work out. Sorry, everybody.
Right. I've never heard somebody make up a story and then walk it back.
I know. That's interesting.
All right.
Okay. Let's move on to Texas.
Okay.
Y'all have been really asking us to talk about this. This is the Texas dildo bill.
Okay, tell me what the law is.
Okay, so things like this have always been swirling around in certain red states, but now Texas is introducing a bill to require photo ID to buy sex toys online, calling them obscene devices. Obscene devices, I can't. We will be dropping our obscene device collection on Vibes only. We're going to do free expedited shipping to Texas only.
If they were going to do it in any state, it was going to be Texas.
Yeah.
There is a law in Texas already that in Texas, the possession of more than 6 dildos is prohibited.
I've always known that. What are they coming into your house and trying to find them?
Well, all these laws are very funny. And if you Google, and I won't go through all of them, but if you Google like ridiculous, outdated sex laws, I mean, you'll see hundreds of them.
Totally. Like weird sodomy stuff. And it's, again, like, we can joke about it, but it's just total nonsense. It's targeted at women and their pleasure. If Texas and other deep red states could ban women having sex for pleasure, they would. You know, like it's just all really gross. And it's just crazy because it's like you can always masturbate. Have you guys ever heard of fingers? Like, what are you going to, you're trying to stop people from masturbating? And I mean, I'll just like go on a rant for a minute. Like Texas has other things to focus on. Like their lawmakers need to focus on the fact that they are 41 out of 50 states in education, 49th in overall healthcare, 49th in access to healthcare, 49th in women's health, 44th in child health, and 49th in mental health. Maybe y'all should focus on some other things besides vibrators.
Well, I don't understand like what this is based on other than what you said, women's pleasure. I mean, why should you not be allowed to own one?
It's
based
again,
on what?
Exactly. It's like, it's because it's in the same category as like porn. Like that's why they're trying to require age restriction, which also is reading this article that those don't work. You know, age restrictions on buying devices. How, you know?
It's not that enforceable either. And like, what if I buy it in another state and bring it into the state?
If you buy a dildo underage in Arizona, yeah, you bring it to Texas.
Like it's a gun?
It's just, I mean, again, don't get me started on guns. Like it's literally easier to buy a gun in Texas than a vibrator. That's what they're trying to make it. Yeah. So it's just focus on other stuff. It's an insult. It's an insult to the people of Texas that this is what any lawmaker is spending their time on.
Also that, yes. It feels like, what's the point of this? Why are we regulating this? At the end of the day, all it's going to do is give people orgasms. So who cares? What harm is this causing?
I know. And it's just like, then they're going to do other stuff. And it's just like, I swear they want just like young people to get knocked up and be forced to have the kids and not get an education. And that's how you continue the cycle of poverty. So they're like, if they can't masturbate, maybe they'll just need to fuck people instead.
Do other stuff.
Yeah.
So much bad stuff has happened from obviously guns, drugs, alcohol. Like there's so many things to regulate before this. Crazy.
Understatement.
All right, so I'm going to read you a couple others.
Okay.
Oral sex is illegal in 18 states.
We are felons. I want to know how many states I've had oral sex in. Had oral sex performed.
And a lot of these, by the way, are misdemeanors. Like you're not going to go to jail for sucking a dick. You'll just get a ticket.
A ticket.
In Florida, it is illegal to have sex with a porcupine. Mm-hmm. How many times did that happen before they were like, make a law?
Shit. Have I done this?
Sexual intercourse between unmarried couples is illegal in Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah. I saw this on a lot of sites.
But I've had so much.
Well, don't tell me.
10 years.
Can you retroactively go to jail?
of sex out of wedlock I had in Georgia. And a lot of oral sex. And I fucked a porcupine, but it's legal there.
Can you retroactively go to jail for that? Come and get me. Okay. Engaging in any sexual position other than missionary is illegal in Washington, D.C.
Raina, no. Where'd you get this?
I cross-referenced this from a bunch of websites.
This
I saw on a bunch.
You can't do doggy in D.C.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, I didn't like read the Constitution or anything, but like... Look it up. Okay, here's one that I also saw on a lot of websites. It is illegal in Utah to marry your first cousin before the age of 65. 66, you can marry
it. They're like, you're senile. Have at it. You don't even know that's your cousin anymore.
Okay, and then the last one.
Utah also just, none of this is going to surprise me in Utah. Also, come see me in Salt Lake, you guys.
Here's the last one. I could do this all day, but here's the last one I'll do. In South Carolina, a false promise of marriage can land you in jail.
Oh my God, all these fuckboys.
Promising someone you'll marry them with no intention to follow through.
I love this one.
I do too. It's called the Seduction Under Promise of Marriage Act.
Honestly, am I a Republican? Because I think we need to put this in more states. Leading people on is a crime.
Imagine if you got led on by a guy and then you could get them arrested.
Guess who's going straight to jail? Grant from The Bachelor. Grant Ellis. He basically like promised Latia he was going to marry her and then chose the other one.
He's going to jail.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm imagining it right now. I'm turned on by it. Anyways, these are funny. You guys should Google them. There's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Don't come for us on the fact checking.
I never said
I believe you.
I never said I was a lawyer.
The missionary one is getting me though.
Not
you're on top in DC. You're like, it's illegal. That's so much hotter.
Okay, I like that you're like, the porcupine thing sounds true.
Well, I'm assuming there's a lot of animals you can't fuck. Also, I'm sorry. If you're trying to fuck a porcupine, you're like really deranged.
Okay.
Like you're dangerous.
Totally.
You're too dangerous to society. That's a weird animal to want to fuck because the spikes.
Yeah, obviously. I'll hit you with one last one. It's illegal to seduce and debauch an unmarried woman in Michigan.
Debauch?
Debauch.
What does that mean?
It's a seduce and debauch law. I don't know.
What does debauch mean? Like debauchery?
Debauchery.
Like run around and get drunk? Okay, we've got to move on.
All right. Revolve. Probably the website I visit maybe the most on the internet right now is Revolve.
I can't believe this is happening. I can't. This is my whole closet. 90% of it. Yours too. This is everything I'm wearing today. These are LPA pants. I love this brand LPA and ALC shirt. I have that shirt that you're wearing.
My shirt's Super Down. I get a lot of shirts from Super Down,
Yeah.
especially for recording because we just need like a lot of like cute, comfy tops. For
And those
recording.
are Citizen jeans.
Citizen
which I have
jeans.
Citizen jeans from Revolve. Also, it's all we wear. It's crazy. Like Tessa can tell you the amount of Revolve boxes she's had to deal with. I mean, it's all of our show clothes, everything I've probably worn on stage over the years.
If you guys don't know what Revolve is,
Sorry, yeah.
They've curated a huge selection. They have 1,200 brands and 100,000 styles across high-end, emerging, and exclusive labels in fashion, beauty, and home goods. So some of the brands you guys might know: Lovers and Friends, Amanda Uprichard, Norma Kamali, A. Goldie. Tons of my jeans are A. Goldie.
I love Amanda Uprichard. I just bought this set that.
Their shipping is so fast. Their customer support is the best probably I've ever dealt with in my life.
The most pro customer company.
Yes.
The most.
Returns are so easy if you don't like
labels in the
something.
box.
Labels in the box. I mean, they have thought of literally everything in this company. And then my favorite thing they do is you can shop different collections. So every summer I do like their summer collections. If I'm going to a wedding, they do wedding collections, holiday collections, and it's festival season coming up. So if you guys are going to Coachella or Stagecoach, it is the perfect time to go on Revolve and shop the festival shop. So they just curate all of these shops for you. They make it super easy to see like what the girlies are wearing, what's hot right now.
I open their emails because I'm like, what's hot? Because sometimes some of those the hot things that are spotlighted go quick, but it doesn't matter because there's a million other things on the like. It's just it's everything. I mean, and we've been posting about them for years. It's like just truly everything that we wear from jeans, loungewear up to like show outfits. Like they have it all. You have your evening gowns. I mean, anything for a wedding. I think everything I've ever worn to a wedding, that green dress I wore to Andrew Collins' wedding. Like there's probably nothing you can even look on my Instagram and see that's not from Revolve.
I know.
It's true. I'm just so excited they're a partner and like, truly, like Rain and I get so mad about companies that feel anti-customer, that make it really difficult for you to get in touch with somebody, to make a return, that have super slow shipping, work with like weirdo shipping providers. Like everything is just so easy. And so, okay, I need to stop. I need to rein it in.
But I love them. And I like a company that really treats their customers well on top of having great styles and selection. So, and inclusive sizing.
Yeah,
so,
any size. Yeah.
Any size, tons of colors. And if they're ever out of something, at the bottom of the page it says shop similar items. They give you 100 items.
I mean, some of the things I bought are in the shop similar items bucket,
Always.
Yeah, I'm like, they know what I like.
So from last minute getaways to party dressing and seasonal upgrades, Revolve has you covered with fast 2-day shipping and easy returns all on them. And for a limited time, you can shop a curated selection of our favorite styles at revolve.com/GGE and receive 15% off your order with code GGE. That's revolve.com/GGE to shop our top picks and get 15% off your order with code GGE. The offer ends April 14th. Do not miss out.
Yes, and like Raina said, go to that link and you'll see some of the stuff that we've bought recently and that we're wearing recently, and maybe we'll like add some more to it. And it's just like really fun to see. And just get on it, guys. Thank you, Revolve. We love you.
We love them forever. Okay. And if you guys have been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort, the CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body, not against it. You know, I'm not as young as I once was. I care a lot about maintaining my physical and mental wellness, and their CBD gummies are a huge part of the wellness plan. It's just, you know, it's different than having like a glass of wine at the end of the day, and I wake up feeling good. So the gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's like stress, discomfort, or needing a little relaxation. They only use the best part of the hemp plant. So that's the flower and the purest, most potent CBD. It's formulated to help relieve discomfort, stress, and sleeplessness. So I like to take one right before I go to sleep at night. All products are third-party, label tested, and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. They have lots to choose from on the site. You go on there, you can select different flavors of the gummies. And right now, GGE listeners can save 30% on their first order. So just head to cornbreadhemp.com/GGE and use the code GGE to check out. That is cornbreadhemp.com/GGE and use the code GGE.
Okay. Some juicy stuff to talk about today.
A lot happened this week. A lot of like larger kind of philosophical discussions.
Oh my God, not philosophical. We're talking about like the Kardashians and influencers. Raina's like, it's very philosophical.
Not philosophical.
Well, we like to talk about this stuff in like what stuff that prompts a deeper conversation is what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, we'll do like headlines and then we like to pick a few things to talk a lot about. So after almost a year of speculation, Remi Bader has finally like dropped the interview where she is talking about her weight loss. She did that on Khloe Kardashian's podcast. And it's caused, of course, a lot of discourse and conversation on the internet.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know who she is a plus size influencer. I think she got popular during COVID, and she would try different looks on and, you know, how they would fit her. And she's been in the spotlight. She has been larger and plus size and has kind of built her brand on that. But we'll kind of talk about how that was never really her goal. And she's always really struggled with her weight and didn't really sign up to be the picture of body positivity, I guess. But so she lost about 150 pounds over the course of the last year. And of course, everyone's like, what is going on? This is can't be Ozempic, you know, like, and she had been on Ozempic before. And so she's just like shrinking and looks like a totally different person and didn't reveal that she got the surgery until she went on this podcast.
Right. So she got the surgery in December of 2023.
Okay.
So quite a long time ago. She underwent a new procedure called SADIS, which she describes as a cross between gastric sleeve and gastric bypass. She said that the recovery was extremely painful and traumatic, which of course to lose 150
worse than
pounds.
It should have been also.
Sure.
Yeah.
And people have speculated for a long time. I mean, she was sort of like the beacon of plus size girlies that still dressed really fashionable and seemed really confident and made all these videos. And as she started losing weight, of course, the comments started right away. And this is in the age of Ozempic also, where, you know, everybody demands that influencers be honest about what they're on and what they've done to their bodies. And she has refused to address it. And oftentimes in a way that has been digested as not very nice, a little antagonistic, instigative. She blocks people. She makes response videos. Her thing has just sort of been, I don't owe you information about my body.
Well, she used to share a lot more. And so her story, and, you know, I'm going to remove I don't know her personally. We know a lot about her. We have friends that are friends with her, you know, whatever. Whether I like her or not, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of irrelevant to the conversation. Like, I'm just going to kind of speak in the way that she comes across is she's really struggled with her weight always. She has tried Ozempic, Mounjaro, I think too. Like, she's been to like treatment centers. When she talks about this in the podcast, she went to Overeaters Anonymous. Like, she has talked about how she's unhealthy, how she has back problems, how she has knee problems. I mean, she's been really open about, I'm struggling with my weight, which should lead you to think I don't want to be this weight.
On the podcast.
Huh?
You're saying on the podcast
over
or previously?
always. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, I haven't I can't say everything she's ever done, but she's always been open about her struggles. Sorry, I don't know if she would talk about the treatment centers and stuff previously, but my point is like she would be open about struggling with her weight, you know, and not being able to, I guess, control it. And then she doubled down on that even more on Chloe's podcast of how much of a struggle it's been. And then prior to getting the surgery, she did make a statement, and she says this on the podcast as well, like, I'm kind of done sharing. Like, I'm not going to really share. And I think maybe she was kind of foreshadowing perhaps, but like, which I see all the different sides of it. Like, it's not so black and white. You know, I get when people bully you and harass you and demand information from you, and the people that kind of appeared to be your supporters have turned on you, like, you really want to be like, fuck all of y'all. You know, like, we've experienced it on a much smaller level over time, and you kind of have to do the reconciliation of like, this isn't everybody, this is just a few loud voices. But like, when people really come at you, you're like, I've shared so much of my life with you and I don't want to anymore. And I get people being like, okay, but you built this whole platform on being plus size, and now you're not, and now you're flaunting that in our face, and you're not telling us what you did. So I see that too. And then her point was like, I was really struggling. The recovery was terrible. She went through this breakup at the same time. Like, I wasn't ready to share. And then people are like, you waited until you got this big podcast to go on to share. You wait till you got a payday to share. Like, I'm just saying that the critiques that people are saying, but I understand her not feeling like she owes people this information.
I agree with everything you said. I think all critiques of this are fair. I think it's fine to be a fan of hers and feel like, you know, I thought we were in this together. I thought I found an ally that dressed so well and looked like me, and I like seeing somebody on the internet who is confident and wants to look a certain way and is still able to be out in the world and like themselves. And I understand feeling a sense of like loss that person changed their mind, essentially. And you're like, but I gave you my time and I gave you my money sometimes, and you changed your mind, and that hurts. I also understand her side of things. Like you said, her whole life was probably bullied and looked at a certain way for how she looked. And then all these people are carrying torches, demanding that you tell them what you've done to your body. And you're like, I don't even know who I am right now.
Yeah.
She said, and you know, people that lose a lot of weight always echo this same sentiment, which is like, I look in the mirror and I see a different person, but inside I'm still the same person. I don't know how to like reconcile those two things. And so she, I think, is dealing with a lot mentally. And so I understand being like, I don't need to talk to you guys about this right now until I'm ready. I think the tone, at least for me, came off instigative and really hostile sometimes.
Totally. Yeah. Again, this is just like, you can not like her too. You know what I mean? You can be like, she's a bitch if that's what you feel. But I have empathy to how people get that way when they've been bullied and demanded information. You know, like, this is not the same, but when I got my nose done, I didn't talk about it right away. I didn't bring people on the journey. And I was trying to remember why. I had certain feelings about it. Like, it's not the same. I can't stress it enough. And I didn't build a career on my nose, but like, I just didn't want to. I don't know why. I didn't want people's feedback. I wanted to put some space in between getting it done and talking about it. And now I would have been like, I got my nose done yesterday. I don't know really why, but for whatever reason, I wanted to kind of see how I felt about it and just didn't talk about it right away in the podcast. All my friends and family knew that. I said that when I shared on the podcast, but there were some people in comments, just this like one terrible troll who wouldn't let up. We know you got your nose done. Are you going to reveal it? And I'm like, what is your damage? Like, you know, and it's not the same, but I understand wanting to process something before you share it with the world. And I can't stress enough that it's different, but I even felt like that. And then those few people, again, not the majority of people who were like demanding this, made me want to be like, fuck you. I'm not going to bring it up at all. But I didn't, because I know that's not the majority of people who follow us and support us.
I think that when you do anything medical to your body, I think that you are allowed to process it as long as you'd like and share that information with other people. And Bethany Frankel said this. I was watching a video of hers and it really struck me. And she said that your fans develop parasocial relationships with you. And so they actually do think you owe them this information because they're like, but I've been following this journey and I have been liking and commenting and doing the things, by the way, that allow you to monetize your following.
Yeah.
And now you're going to turn your back on us. And people don't realize that these are like strangers with private lives and there's no training for this, you know? So you just have to process this as you're going through it. And I go back and forth because it would be a little strange for me to have built this podcast with you.
I like, I want to hear what you're going to say. It was the exact same thing I was going to say. Yeah.
And refuse to talk about my relationships and refuse to tell you guys what's going on with me. But there is nuance to that, and I protect other people's privacy. I wait until I know what I want to say about something to talk about it. I wait until I've de-escalated and I'm not so mad about something. And I also just change my mind about stuff. Like where I feel a certain way about a relationship or a person, and I don't feel that way in a couple weeks. And I don't want a record stamped online on the internet forever of me having said something.
Yeah, I mean, this would be exactly... I have a few comparisons, which again, different. We're talking about dating, we're talking about people's bodies and medical stuff and all of that. But I mean, it would be like Raina gets a partner and just refuses to share anything. And people would be like, you brought us on your journey this whole time. Like, I look to you for dating advice, relationship advice, all this. And you're like, I'm not going to talk about this. And you could respect that and have to know she'd be doing it for whatever reason and she's a person and she can have her own boundaries, or you could stop listening. Like that's the thing. Like, I get it. You feel betrayed by these people you've given your time and your energy and sometimes your money to, but you can just stop. You can stop following them. You can stop listening to them. You can stop supporting them, buying their stuff. That's just how it be sometimes, and that's what you're able to do if you really feel betrayed or led on enough to want to stop supporting them. And I don't know. I thought about the parallel even between, singleness and then for me deciding to get married. I've been single. I loved it. It was ups and downs. And then I'm not anymore. And you could be like, but you were my single girl I looked up to. And it's like, but I never said I was going to be forever. Like, I don't know. And it's like she was really open about the fact that, like, again, I don't know everything she's ever said, but to my knowledge, she was pretty open about the fact that, like, I don't necessarily want to be in this body, which should kind of make you think it will change. Maybe she's tried everything. She's still trying. So why wouldn't it change? It's almost like you're single, you're dating. I'm happy, I'm thriving. But like the goal is to find somebody. The goal is to kind of change. And they're not the same. And I can't stress that enough. I keep saying that I'm like a broken record, but like, I think it's interesting to discuss the parallels of the way people follow you and why, and how they get angry when things change.
Yes. And also, like, I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. Like, when it's different for us, like when we are single and dating and having all these like little like fuckboy situations, those are fun and funny to talk about. I would never expect you to talk about your husband. I would never expect it. I would never expect you to share really private personal information about your personal lives. And if you had an argument, I mean, it's a different level, right?
Yeah.
You don't owe everybody every piece of information.
100%.
I had a situation with somebody in the fall. It was very painful. I really hated it. I'm not going to share it. It's just, that was a really personal situation. And I don't owe everybody every piece of information about everything that happens to me either.
Yeah. And for Remi, like, she still is figuring this out, how she feels. And I loved the interview because I love Chloe. I have always loved Chloe. I find her to be so funny. Like, I laugh out loud if I watch her on the Kardashians. I think she's so wise. I just think she's like a good person. She's so compassionate. She's so empathetic. I mean, she really seems like an empath. And I really just think she's a good person. And I feel for her and everything that she's gone through. And she couldn't have been the better and on top of it, she's been critiqued and body shamed and for her since her whole adult life and speculated on and all of that. So it's just, it couldn't have been a better person to do the interview with.
I love that she picked her. Like, who could empathize more than Chloe about being picked apart on the internet their entire life and compared to everybody around you who looks so beautiful and thin. And now she's like re-engineered her face and her body, and people have a million things to say about that too now that aren't kind. And I think that she was such an incredible person to speak to. And she could have done anything. She could have gone on Call Her Daddy. She could have gone on anything and done this. Yeah. But I love that she picked Chloe.
We see different sides. I do see people being like, she flaunted this brand new body. She showed herself working out. I'm like, okay, well, she never said that was how she can work out.
Oh, Remi Bader.
Yeah, Remi, because I just, my biggest issue is just blatantly lying.
I guess the misstep that what people wanted was a little bit of kindness and maybe a statement that said like, yes, clearly something's going on.
Okay, right.
Obviously you guys have eyes and I don't.
But did she ever, again, like I don't really follow her, so I don't know. Again, it's like I don't have the receipt for all these things, but
I don't either. And but there was definitely not a statement that was like, clearly you guys have eyes, you're not blind. I've lost 150 pounds and I'm not ready to talk about it. And like, I will when I want to.
Yeah.
I think that the tone that I've seen has been a little antagonistic.
Sure. And that's maybe her tone.
Yeah.
And you can take it or leave it. And she says kind of like, but I told people I was done sharing. And Chloe was like, it doesn't matter if you you think you're getting, no, like Chloe was like, you can get ahead of something as much as you want. It doesn't matter. People will spin the narrative however they like.
Totally.
Which I appreciated. Like you could be like, I told y'all I was done doing this. And people are like, first of all, no, you didn't. People are supposed to just believe I should prove it. You know what I mean? Like, so I just.
All right. Well, we wish her well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's time for me to talk about booking.com again. When Raina agreed us to this, I didn't know I'd have to sing the song every week, but I'm happy to do it.
Really
I'm happy to do it.
Well, Ashley and I love booking.com and we love to book apartment stays and hotels with them all over the country. Of course, they really make it so easy.
Yes.
And you jumped at the chance to write the song.
You know what? We're not going to fight on air. This episode of Girls Gotta Eat is brought to you by Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of MLB. Booking.com, booking.yeah. Okay, so baseball season. This is the main thing my fiance's into. Baseball.
That's it? Really?
Well, he loves sports. He mostly just loves sports betting, which is tough to do in California. Poor guy.
I grew up going to baseball. My dad bought season tickets every single year.
So he's been watching a lot of baseball, talking about a lot of baseball.
Okay.
And
you're going to book him something on Booking.com. So you guys are going to take a little trip.
And we love Booking.com. We were just in New York. We booked our stay at the hotel on Booking.com. And so it's spring, it's baseball season. They're the official partner of MLB. And we're just big fans of Booking.com in general. We use it and we're into it. So they have a sweepstakes we're going to tell you guys about. But we did create our own version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game in honor of baseball season and Booking.com. And it is based on our summer travel plans. So you know what? I think everybody should sing it. All three in the mic.
All of us?
Yes.
No, don't bring Tessa into this.
Yes, Tessa has a voice of an angel. Ready, guys? It's in there. I put it in the outline.
That we all have to do it?
Well, we're all three going to harmonize it. All right, Raina, get ready.
Take me out to the Hamptons. Take me out to Rainapalooza.
Tess, I don't hear you.
Then to Vegas for Ashley's bachelorette. At the mail review, everyone will be wet. Let us book with Booking.com. And then we get ready to thrive. Because it's 1, 2, 3 clicks, you're booked for the summer of 2025.
A little stretch from Azul at the end.
Let us know in the comments who had the best voice.
You guys killed it. And Booking.com wants to help make you a fan of any U.S. city with a chance to win $1,000 in Booking.com travel credit. Head to the Booking.com Instagram page, which is @Booking.com, and check out their sweepstakes post for more details. Okay, Raina, question for you. How would you feel if you lost your libido?
My sex drive, is that like a serious question? I'd never recover.
I know, right? Well, the fact is millions of premenopausal women are frustrated because they lost their libido. But we're here to let you know that there's a treatment called Addyi that is clinically proven to boost libido in certain premenopausal women. And this isn't some sketchy gas station pill. It's FDA approved. Talk to your doctor to see if Addyi is right for you. And again, it is clinically proven.
I love that women have this option.
Same. You can go learn more at Addyi.com. That is ADDYI.com.
Addyi, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. The low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addyi is not for use in men or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addyi dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addyi at bedtime. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is also increased if you take certain prescriptions, over-the-counter or herbal medications, or have liver problems. Low blood pressure and fainting can happen when you take Addyi, even if you don't drink alcohol or take other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of the ingredients in Addyi. Allergic reactions may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sleepiness, sometimes serious, can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addyi.com/PI or call 844-PINK-PILL. Addyi.
That is ADDYI.com.
So last week, Chappell Roan was on Call Her Daddy. She gave an interview in which she talked about whether or not she wanted to have kids. And people, I mean, it was a pretty definitive statement. Chappell Roan, she doesn't mince words. So she said, all of my friends who have kids are in hell, which you knew was going to inflame the internet. I'll read you the rest. I don't know anyone. I actually don't know anyone who's like happy to have children at this age.
Yeah.
She's 27, by the way. And she said, I literally have not met anyone who's happy, anyone who has light in their eyes, anyone who has slept. I mean, she was not vague about it. Since then, I really have been flooded with like TikToks of women with children kind of responding to this. And it's interesting. The comment sections are very different than the people that made reaction videos.
Okay.
Reaction videos, all anti-Chappell Roan, of course. Really defending motherhood and their choices. Comment sections, really kind to her, really open-minded.
People just want to try to go viral with a opposing opinion.
Yes.
So there's that. I'm also sure there's some others out there that are like, yeah, girl, this is hell. I have no light in my eyes. This is tough. Thanks for shining a light on it. This is rough out here, and I wish I knew. You know, like, it's weird.
There's a lot of that in the comments, too.
I saw one comment on the Cut article, and it says, parents talk about how hard it is, rightly so they shouldn't be surprised when someone decides that it sounds like a bad time. But she is speaking about it as an outsider who is making an assessment on a lifestyle she doesn't live in some rather inflammatory language, so I can understand how it would strike a nerve. So we want to validate that. While, of course, we're never in the business of like pitting women against each other for their life decisions. We support whatever you guys want to do. And in this conversation, it appeared that she is talking about her hometown friends having kids in their 20s. That's her experience with what she's seen.
She's from a suburb of Missouri, Springfield, Missouri.
She's from Missouri, right? She's from Missouri. So small town, suburban, women in their 20s in a pretty tough state when it comes to maternal health care. I mean, like there's a whole bigger conversation about like motherhood in the U.S.
Sure.
And how tough it is.
So hard?
Yeah, and why it's so hard and the problems with all of that too. Maternity leave, maternal care, health care, mental health, all that stuff. So there is that. So her friends might be struggling and having a hard time, and they agree with that statement. I mean, people took it as an attack on their choices to have kids, and you're welcome to interpret it that way, but I don't think that's what she was trying to say. That she was trying to say, in my experience right now, at 27 years old, she'd probably deliver that opinion differently in 10 years. She is saying, doesn't look like a good time.
I don't disagree. It does not look like a great time to me either. You and I might have delivered that with some more nuance.
We do. But we're a lot older.
Yes. And, you know, I don't think that she claims to speak about dating and relationships for a living. You know, you and I put out that episode and have since put out episodes where we talk about not wanting to have children, wanting to be child free. And we speak of it with a lot of nuance and, you know,
and sensitivity.
We know that all the women around us, a lot of them have chosen to have children. We love their kids. We support their right to do so. It's not for me personally. I wouldn't have said it the way she said it, but we say this all the time, like my decisions are not an attack on your decisions. I'm allowed to not want to have kids and also think it's great that you have kids. And I don't think that anybody's saying that having children is such a good time in the beginning. I don't know that anybody does it for happiness day one. You do it for fulfillment. You do it for all kinds of reasons. It's not easy. I'm watching my sister-in-law. She's 7 months into having a baby. It's really tough. It's tough on your body. It's tough on your romantic relationship. It's tough on your sleep. I mean, it's really hard. She's not wrong.
Also, if it doesn't apply to you, then why do you care? Right. This is the same thing of people like recently we were talking with somebody and she was saying like, moving in with a partner is really bad for your relationship. It's bad for your sex life. She's a sex expert. And she's sitting there talking to me. I just moved in with mine. I'm like, I'm not offended. We're having a great time. You know, like I made this decision. I had the information and that's not my experience. Mm-hmm. So I really do see everything you're saying. I can validate it and also say, that's not my experience. I'm not offended by it. But it's just like, I always think that. It's like, you're offended because there's truth in it for you. If not, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, hell, I'm having a great time as a mom. And we see moms that obviously couldn't imagine not being a mom. And there's good times and bad, and it's ups and downs, and they're super happy and fulfilled with their decision. So on top of that, I think historically women who have chosen not to have children have been insulted and belittled way more than mothers ever have. And I'm not saying like two wrongs don't make a right. Like maybe the tide is shifting to be like, you don't have to have kids, obviously, and we're part of that conversation as well.
I think that women that have dared to say, I don't want to have children on the internet, is open season on them. From men, from the conservatives, from ultra-religious people. People have so many comments to say as though you are insulting their life decisions. And it's like, I'm not insulting your life decisions. If that's what you find fulfillment and happiness from, you should go do that. I find fulfillment and happiness from talking about my sex life on a podcast. You don't have to do that either. You might think that's the dumbest thing in the world, and I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me. It doesn't insult me. I don't care.
It made me think of Seth Rogen, who I feel like is one of the more famous male,
the most famous
celebrity,
male.
who is I was trying to find his quote where he's just like,
he said it doesn't sound like that much fun to me.
It doesn't sound fun. You know, and he's, I don't want to say like, oh, a man says it and he doesn't receive backlash. He has people, but probably not as much as she would as a 27-year-old woman.
He's become like this poster child for I don't want kids. Where like, as like no one's asking George Clooney.
Right.
He's just, I think he's made it kind of his brand. It doesn't sound that much fun to me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just a couple of headlines for your week, and then we're going to let you guys go.
We're going to let you go.
I got to go.
Raina's got to go. She's got to get to Mexico City.
Go to Mexico. Loser Morgan Wallen. This is page 6. Loser Morgan Wallen walks off SNL stage as credits roll, seemingly skipping the after party.
Absolutely, he skipped the after party.
So he co-hosts. He was the musical guest. Mikey Madison was the host, and you see as the credits roll, he hugs her. He kind of waves. He walks right off the stage, right towards the camera.
Yeah, everyone's hugging. They're celebrating a really grueling week at summer camp. Essentially, like it's just such an accomplishment to put that show together. Everybody in the stage is like, oh my god, and he walks right into the camera. He walks off stage and then he gets on his private jet and says, take me to God's country. Tennessee. No offense to Tennessee, God's country. I think they just like ripped this 80-year-old woman out of like a protest, like manhandled her in Tennessee. Like I'm just saying the headline I saw in Tennessee was not very godlike this morning.
Oh.
Yeah. She was probably just protesting human rights. Like,
It's interesting. I don't think anybody expected this not liberal guy, this anti-liberal guy to like stick around, hang out in New York City with the cast. But it is truly such an insult to how much work and time and energy goes into this profoundly difficult show to make, to walk off stage like that. It's on purpose. It is meant to be insulting. And then to follow up with that
get
post,
me out of here.
No one made you do this. Like, if you're just like, this is stupid, I'm a mega celebrity, this is beneath me, then don't do it.
Yeah.
If you think this is some like liberal institution, you don't want any part of it, then don't have a part of it.
Don't be a part of it. Exactly. Amen.
Vanderpump Rules alum Rachel Leviss is now a professional sound healer.
Okay.
I always was just kind of wondering, like, where's she going to go from here? And it's being a sound healer in Arizona.
Raquel.
Rachel. She changed it to Rachel, as if people would forget. I think this is good for her. I think that she doesn't need to be on reality TV. I think we don't need it.
She's finding herself.
I have to tell you, the last thing I want to do when I'm relaxing is be in a room with Raquel Leviss, because I love Scandal so much. I couldn't get enough of it. Nothing makes me relax less than that.
Yeah.
All I could do was think about it.
I know. Well, good for her. Hope she,
she stays
finds her truth. And the last one, Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick's son, Rain, addresses rumor Justin Bieber is his real dad.
This has been, people have always thought this.
I did not know this.
I'm surprised you've never heard this. So people think that she had an affair with him when she was sort of like on a break from Scott, and then told Scott that she was pregnant, which is filmed on the show. And Scott's like pretty pissed that they're having another kid. He does not want this. But people have always thought that Rain was Justin Bieber's kid.
Oh my God. Well, Justin Bieber's in the news a lot. I think he's kind of crashing out this week a little bit. But anyway, it's apparently he is not Kourtney's baby daddy. I kind of forgot they dated. And Rain said on Instagram Live, bro, I swear, Justin Bieber's not my dad. So
it's crazy because I think Rain is like a baby. I'm like, who taught you how to do Instagram stories?
Rain is like the unhinged one, right? He can't be managed.
No, I don't think he's.
You're thinking of Mason. I think Mason's
No, Mason. I know Mason.
He's the unhinged.
Yeah,
He's
Mason's the oldest.
He got his like social media taken away years ago.
They probably. I think they all are.
Yeah, I don't think any of those people can be managed.
Yeah,
you
no.
know?
Courtney's kids
Yeah, Courtney's
really
kids.
lacks parenting,
Yeah, Scott Disick is their dad.
and that's not a critique. I don't hate the way Courtney parents.
She's like, whatever.
But, Chloe forever. Okay, guys. Well, that's your snack. We're going to let you go. And girlsgottaeat.com for whatever you need. Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I am Ash Hess. I'm starting my tour this weekend in Chicago. Woo! So you can get tickets at ashhess.com. And I'm going to be touring all through up to the fall. Raina.Greenberg. Follow Raina. Check out her thirst traps on Instagram. She's been posting again, guys. She's back. And subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend who wants to laugh. And we will see you Monday.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye.